getting started. So today I'm going to start off throwing on a bat. I'm going to try to make some, I don't know if wider, but taller things. So I'm going to use a bat to start with. So I don't have to worry about trying to get it off of the wheel and ruining it. So we'll give that a go again. I haven't thrown off a bat in a little while. If you guys haven't noticed, I finally cleaned my wheel, so I didn't get around to my tools, but I finally got the wheel cleaned up. Mad Dog Rules said, do we get to know what it is you're making, or is it a surprise? Honestly, it is a surprise. I do want to make some more lidded jars. I've made some lidded jars before, and I want to make the body. So I'm not sure if it's going to be, this ball of clay is going to be like a shorter, like wider one, or if I'm going to make a taller one. I think I might go for like a shorter, wider one on this piece of clay, and then the other ball of clay that I have there's a little bit more clay, so I'll probably be able to get that one to be a little bit taller. So a lidded jar is what I'm shooting for today. I'm not going to make the lids today, but I'll probably make those another day. They're not really too interesting to see made, and I'm not very good at making them yet, so I'll probably make those another day, maybe on or off camera, but we'll see. So I'm shooting for a lidded jar. For some reason, for me, it always is harder to center on a bat. It's secured in pretty well, but for some reason it just doesn't usually end up feeling right. That feels okay. I know sometimes people say not to use a lot of water, but I am not to the point where I can use less water to make any pottery. Maybe one day, but for some reason it always feels like either my clay dries out too quickly, or my hands absorb more water, or I spend too much time in one spot, and so that takes away a lot of the water. But so now I'm just going to flatten and compress the base so that when it's done and it's drying out, the bottom doesn't crack. Luckily, I haven't experienced much cracks in the bottoms of my pots. I'm not sure if that's because I compress decently well, or a lot of times I make the bases of my pots pretty thick so that I can trim them. And I'm not sure if that factors into it or whatnot. And this happens to me a lot when I'm pulling out. I probably don't compress the rim well enough while I'm opening up, where this bit of clay ends up here. So I'm going to try compressing it a little bit now to get that more incorporated. And you'll see a lot of potters do, like, they'll put, actually I don't even know how, they'll put like 2 fingers on the side and then compress with their thumb. And in the first couple pulls, I usually like to put pressure from one hand. Actually, how do I do this? I think I put like a couple fingers over the rim, and then I press down with those fingers, and then I push kind of forward a little bit with this part of my thumb, and then I wrap my thumb around just to make sure that everything's still centered and also compresses the rim. I feel like I have a little bit more stability and control over the clay when I do it like that, rather than in the beginning when the rim is still pretty thick, doing the like supporting 2 sides and then putting like your thumb on top, or some people do like their fingers on the sides and stuff. And also when I compress the rim like that, I'm also able to kind of collar in the top so that I can kind of keep that cone shape. So I do like to throw with a little bit more wheel speed. I probably should learn to throw with the wheel speed a little slower, but I try to keep that cone shape for longer because I do throw a little bit faster so it doesn't pull the rim out from the centripetal force. Might try to get one more pull out of this. Okay. Now for the hardest part for me is I'm gonna push this in to try to get like a little lip out of it that the lid will be able to sit on top of. Here's the jar, so a lid will go right on top of that, but I will make the lid another day. We got 7 people watching. Thanks you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate everyone who tunes in and watches. And if you're watching on YouTube, it's always helpful to like or throw something in the chat or any of those things. I'm not too sure. I still really haven't taken any time to understand and learn Twitch, which I really need to take some time to do, but I said that the last handful of times. But whatever people do on Twitch, if you're watching on Twitch, I would appreciate even if you guys have more knowledge on what people do on Twitch in terms of like subscribing or any interaction, that would be helpful. So this one, I think I'm gonna try and make a taller jar. Or if you guys have any ideas as I'm getting started on this, throw them in the chat or something that you'd like to see me make. Sorry, that was my dog barking. One of them. Feels kind of good. The Gray Cat Studios said 2 dogs. Yeah, we have 3, but these 2 are active. I have a French Bulldog and a Pug, and then another French Bulldog who's likely just laying down. Matt Rad1 said, "This is cool, bro." Thanks, I appreciate it. I am trying to get better at making different things, but also just getting better at refining some of the basic skills that I have, because I haven't been doing this long compared to a lot of the really good potters that are online. I'm probably gonna leave it somewhat like this because I'm probably just gonna have to trim it to be more of the shape that I want. I do want like this part to be like a more defined angle, so I'll probably take care of that during the trimming stage. But I'm pretty happy with this. I would like to get better at making something more defined. So I'll probably trim this rim a lot more because it's really thick. But I'm not unhappy with how this has turned out. So I'll probably end this one at that. Let's see if we can get this off. There we go. And I did set the goal to try to throw at least one mug every time that I throw. So I have one more ball of clay. I just need to take these bat pins out so I can do that. Are any of you that are watching, do you guys do pottery? Is there, let's see, the Gray Cat Studios said, my wife and I do slip casting. We have a wheel, but we hardly ever use it because of the intimidation factor and because we're usually busy with the slip casting. Slip casting seems super cool. You can make a lot of like really great uniform pieces, and I've seen a lot of some people who do like 3D moldings that they or 3D printed molds that they use to make some really intricate, cool designs. It's not something that I've ever tried, but I do think that if you want to make like really uniform or like precise pieces, slip casting seems like it's awesome. I think the only way to get over the wheel being intimidating is one, not like you're gonna mess up, so you have to be okay with that, and then also you just have to put in the time on the wheel, which it, like for me, I've shared this before, but I really, like when I first took my first pottery class with my wife, I did like the first like lesson on the wheel, and then pretty much shortly after that I stopped doing it because I just felt like I wasn't good, and it took me another like 4 or 5 months to actually get back on the wheel, and I've spent most of my time just making stuff on the wheel. So I don't know if we're kind of opposites. I mostly just make stuff on the wheel, and I probably should put more time into other stuff, but I do really enjoy making stuff on the wheel. So if you do enjoy a lot of make slip casting, then nothing wrong with sticking to it. All right. The Gray Cat Studios. You appear to be a natural at the wheel. I've been throwing on the wheel usually about 3 times a week for probably almost a year now. So I wouldn't say that I'm a natural, because I was not. I still don't feel like I'm good, but I'm getting more comfortable. But it was not like this at first, I can promise you that. And I still even now have a hard time centering. It still takes me a while sometimes, so I think it's just about time on the wheel more than anything. But also thank you. I do feel better about my throwing now than in the past. And I do enjoy it a lot. Sponge is probably done for. See if I can throw this one a little thinner than usual. I'll probably try to belly this one out a little bit. All right. I don't usually make mugs with this shape. So if you guys have any feedback or thoughts about your favorite shaped mugs, or if you like this shape, that would be great. Throw it in the comments, in the chat. But that's what I got for tonight. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in. I always appreciate all the viewers. If you're watching on YouTube, give it a like so that more people can see it. If we can get more people to watch my live streams, I will be back again on Thursday. And if there's anything that you guys want to see in the meantime, feel free to leave a comment. These lives do get posted afterwards. And then I follow up with shorts throughout the week. So thanks, The Gray Cat Studio. They said I actually like that shape. So maybe I'll need to start making some more bellied out mugs and stuff. But I'll be back again on Thursday, same time. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day and tomorrow, and I'll see you again on Thursday. Thanks.